The tone. Of course, we're going to do the hand placement of the tone right now. Let me just go into some great detail about it. So originally, through my classes and through my understanding and my working of getting the notes as well, was to close the fingers. We're going to go from the knuckles up, right? And now on the tone, we have the thumbs off the drum. They're kind of relaxed, but they're not, hanging down. And then from this knuckle or that knuckle right there, all the way up here are the tones. Except the tones are the fingers are closed to make a thicker surface. And at first, in the beginning of getting used to playing this drum and how the hands have to work and wrists and elbows and everything to make a sound out of it, that works. That totally works. But as you get better and better at it, and you start getting better at your slaps especially, the tones tend to have the fingertips in them as well. They tend to kind of sound like this. I mean, the hands are flat and their fingers are closed, but now we're putting the whole finger on the drum. And now it's time to start getting the tops of the fingers, in fact, the whole fingers, believe it or not, out of the drum. And to do that, we need to focus our area of stretching right here on that knuckle, right here on that MCP knuckle. So let's just visualize that for a minute. Let's just take your strong hand, touch that area right there, right here. Yeah, right there. And that's that real nice hard surface. You can strike your drum with that surface right there. It's not going to hurt. At first. No, it's pretty protected. It's really protected. And if you're getting off your drum really quickly, it won't bruise. It bruises when you leave your hand on the drum, or you're from way up, high, and you're whacking it, with some sort of big shoulder force. That's when I've hurt myself on the drum. And so just don't do that. So anyway, we're not going to worry so much about closing the fingers as we are about stretching right from that knuckle. Now, feel what happens to your hand. The fingers get really tense in here, don't they? The fingertips tend to kind of go away a little bit. The finger tops, not even the tips. No, it's never the tips. It's the tops of the fingers right there. That's making the slaps. And that's the part of the fingers that's also part of the entire finger for the bass. But I digress. What we're doing is we're stretching right from that knuckle. See, make it relaxed. And now focus right here. And you notice the thumb kind of doesn't really get that tense. It's kind of up and out of the way anyway. The fingers get really firm. There's not really much going on here. But here, right here, that's what we want to make really stretchy, really flexible. Flex the fingers. Give them a stretch. So let's go ahead and place them first. So we're going to do just placing the hands on the drum where they're going to be touched to make the tone. And again, will be from this knuckle, and we want to rock right on that knuckle. So make sure that knuckle is completely on the edge of the drum, right around the drum. It's all part of one big circumference. See, those knuckles are right there, part of it. And we're just going to rock back and forth. We're not going to lift it up. We're not going to go like that. We're going to just... I'm going to even kind of go sideways to show you here that, see, I'm not lifting my knuckle off. Now I'm lifting my fingers off, but I'm leaving my knuckle on the drum. Right, just like that. And that's how this whole exercise is going to go here. So be sure to keep that knuckle on the drum, and we're just going to flex that knuckle, because the part of that we want to make the contact here is, of course, that knuckle, and then, well, the fingers. But now make them really flexed. Really stretch those fingers. Get the wrist involved. And you don't have to keep them stretched, but just stretch them as you're going down. And remember, you're stretching from that knuckle. So as you're going down, stretch. Stretch and relax. Stretch. Slight relax, not much. Don't bend the knuckles or anything. All right, I'm really nagging, aren't I? Okay, and now we're going to get the wrist involved, because the wrist, the way I play, I use my wrist. This isn't necessarily traditional, but that's the way I learned, that's the way I play. Okay, and now we're going to take the hand and we're going to put it straight up in the air. And with the same part of the hand, with the wrist now, we're going to mark that same spot. Right? Just go ahead and put it right there and flex it on the way down from the knuckle. A little flex, because you're almost like making your fingers longer. Huh? That sensation? Anyway, work into it. Don't hurt yourself. The thumb should be fairly relaxed, so if it's getting stretched too, you might be stretching too much. Okay, now let's go ahead and make a note. And now with the wrist, we're going to bounce off the drum and stretch on the way down. Getting a little bit of finger. In the end, we don't want a lot of that, but we haven't got fingertips like. We don't want that. We want. See, when you close your fingers, you make your hand a little smaller and stretch from that knuckle. That's a good way to get us tone. When you're playing a little faster, it's harder to open and close all the time. But stretching, see, gets that same thuddy note. And your wrist is, it's a flick of the wrist. But just closing your fingers won't get it. You gotta stretch from that knuckle. Give it a little bit of a flex. I'm gonna count to 5. We'll end on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Let's go to the wild side now. So again, right on that knuckle, we're gonna feel that on the edge of the drum, and we're just gonna rock back and forth. Put the fingers on the drum, and now take them off. Put them on, take them off. And if you're used to closing your fingers, by all means, close your fingers. And that is a way to get a tone, as long as you especially add in a little bit of a stretch from that knuckle. You feel that stretch right there? The thumb should be fairly relaxed, even though it's really kind of firm up here. And then let's go ahead and get the wrist involved and get a little bit of oomph in there like that. And then now we're going to go off the drum, so straight up in the air, marking that same spot. And then, now got to get your stretch going from your knuckle. You know, it's like stretch, release, stress, relax, stretch, relax. It's almost as if you're making your fingers longer. And now let's make a note. Ready, set, go. And let, see, even with my fingers open, it's making pretty much the same sound. But you know, I know you're probably used to keeping them closed, and that's still a good thing. Just give them a little more stretch. And I'll count to 5. We'll end on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tone, the mindful tone. And remember, stretch those fingers.